essence, sweet children, you are studying personally with the Father. In order to become worthy of the Golden Age sovereignty, you definitely have to become pure. Question, what is the Father's occupation? Which only you children know. Well, the first line is, who is your Father? Who is the Father?
Supreme Father, Teacher, and Sadguru.
Very good. You know that your Father is the Father, Teacher, and also the Sadguru. The Father comes at the confluence age of the cycle. And this is God telling you when he comes, what he comes to do, and it's an identically repeating cycle. So you can believe it, you don't believe it, but it's still going to be true. To make this old world new again. So when would God come to time when you have to make the old world new? To establish the one original eternal deity religion, the religion of the golden and silver ages, which is really essentially peace, purity, and happiness. There's no physical worshiping, no praying, none of that stuff like in man-made religions. The Father is now teaching us, children, in order to change us from humans into deities. No one apart from we children knows his occupation. So no one is unique
Like the innocent Lord.
like the innocent Lord. Om Shanti. The meaning of Om Shanti has been explained to you, children, again and again. Om means I am soul, and this is my body. I'm not this body, I'm a soul. The actual words, this is my body, is not in the word, not translated, it's implied. If I'm the soul, then the body that I'm speaking to you through isn't me, so this is my body. We're separate. The body can also say, but really it can't. we don't teach that anyway, but Baba's saying it because you say that.
This is my soul.
This is my soul. Because we know that the soul is speaking through the body. The body can't speak on its own. Just as Shiv Baba says, you are mine, and the children say, Baba, you are mine. In the same way, the soul says, my body, and the body would say, my soul. He's using this just as a, I don't know, what do you call it, a juxtaposition metaphor to get you to understand that the two are separate. The soul knows that he is imperishable. A body cannot do anything without a soul. So that's the true state. The body can't do anything without a soul. Therefore, it's the soul that's speaking through the body that says, this is the body and this is the soul. The soul cannot say, but that's for all the people who are still in body consciousness. They can't quite understand that they're souls. There's a whole bunch of people sitting in the room that have different levels of understanding. The soul has a body and says, don't trouble my soul. I've learned to stop saying that. My soul is a charitable soul. Or my soul is a sinful soul. You souls know that you were charitable souls when?
Pure.
Hmm?
You were pure in Golden Age?
In the Golden Age. This soul himself, Brahma Baba, says, I was Sato Pradhan, totally pure, real gold in the Golden Age. It wasn't really gold, but this is said and given as an example to indicate complete purity because gold doesn't tarnish. My soul was pure and golden aged, Brahma Baba speaking. The soul now says, I am impure. People of the world don't understand this. You receive Srimad. You souls now know that you were Sato Pradhan, totally pure, and you have now become Tamo Pradhan, totally impure. It's the same for everything, childhood, adolescence, and old age. Sato, Rajo, and Tamo. Death is at the end of Sato Tamo Pradhan, and new birth is Sato Pradhan. Everything definitely becomes old from new. The world too was Sato Pradhan and Golden Age at first, and it then became Tamopradhan and Iron Age, and that is why everyone is unhappy. Satopradhan means the reformed world, and Tamopradhan means the spoiled world. In the song, too, it says, the one who reforms the spoiled world, meaning God is the one who does it. The old world is spoiled because it is the kingdom of Ravan, and everyone is impure. In the golden age, all were pure, and that was called the new viceless world. This is an old vicious world. It is now the Iron Age. None of these things are taught in schools or colleges. God comes and teaches you Raja Yoga. God speaks is mentioned in the Gita. They say in the physical Hindu Gita, Krishna Bhagwan Uvach, that means God Krishna speaks, but Shiv Baba explains, actually it's Shiv Bhagwan Uvach. Shiva speaks the Gita. It's mentioned in the Srimad Bhagavad Gita, the elevated directions of the Gita, and Bhagavad is the story of the deities. Srimad means elevated directions. God is the most elevated of all, the highest on high. His accurate name is, so we don't call him God. We do that just for course, right? His accurate name is Shiva. You would never have heard the expression Rudra Jayanti in Hinduism. If you're not Hindu, you wouldn't know this term. Or Rudra Ratri, night of Rudra or birth of Rudra. So it's called Shiv Jayanti and Shivratri, which you all celebrated. People speak of Shivratri, but Shiva is incorporeal. So then how can the birthday of the incorporeal one actually be celebrated? So it's not a physical birth. To speak of the birthday of Sri Krishna is fine. He is the child of so-and-so, and his time and date of birth are mentioned. No one knows when Shiva was born. He doesn't have an astrology chart. He doesn't have a birth date. Even Brahma Baba does not know when Shiv Baba entered it. This should be known. You have now received the understanding of how Sri Krishna took birth at the beginning of the Golden Age. You say that was
5,000 years ago.
It is also said that Bharat was paradise. How many years ago?
Right.
He supports it 3,000 years before Christ, which is 5,000 years. Before Islam, there was the Moon Dynasty, Silver Age, and before them, there was the Sun Dynasty. The scriptures have given the Golden Age a duration of hundreds of thousands of years. The Gita is the main scripture. It was through the Gita that the deity religion was established. That lasted through the Golden and Silver Ages. This means that the original eternal deity religion was established by the Supreme Father, Supreme Soul, through the Gita. Then for half the cycle, there was neither any scriptures nor founders of any religions. The Father came and changed Brahmins into deities and warriors, which means that the Father established
The New Age.
The deity and warrior religion.
and
And the Brahmin.
so how many religions?
3 religions.
Three religions. God creates three. All the human preceptors only create one. But of course, God's three religions are smaller than all the other religions. This is a leap religion. Leap religion because you leap from the Iron Age impure state of being a Shudra, an untouchable, totally impure, to the pure state of being a deity. So its duration is very short. The most elevated jewel of all the scriptures, the Gita, was spoken by God. The Father doesn't take rebirth. He does take birth, but he says, I don't enter a womb. So I take birth, but I don't enter a womb. Whereas in the kingdom of Ravan, body conscious kingdom of Satan, they have to go into the jail of a womb. He calls it the jail because Copper and Iron Age, you suffer punishment in the jail of the womb. When the soul enters the womb for reincarnation, it has the full revision of its life previous life when all the sins are shown to the soul. So everybody thinks the baby's being cute, it's kicking, it's moving. No, it's actually having the vision of its past life shown to it, and that's what it's reacting to. In the golden age, he says, a baby is born in the palace of the womb, completely pure, total happiness, no disturbances, no suffering. Punishment for sins is experienced in the jail of the womb. They promise in the womb, they actually say this to Baba, that they will not sin anymore. These little babies who are having the life revision. But this is a world of sinful souls. They don't know how not to sin. As soon as the baby comes out, he begins to commit sin. Even crying is sin. Being body conscious is sin. So the baby's born in body consciousness. The promise he made in the womb there is left there. Here too, many promise that they won't commit any more sin, right, as adults, and that they won't use the sword of lust on one another because that vice causes sorrow from the time it begins to the middle to the end. Again, lust begins in the Copper Age and continues right to the end of Iron Age, except for Brahmins. There is no poison in the Golden Age. Therefore, people there don't suffer any sorrow from the beginning through the middle to the end of their 21st birth. Complete happiness. No impurity, therefore no sorrow. Because it is the kingdom of God. The Father is once again carrying out its establishment of the kingdom of God. The establishment of it would only take place at the confluence age. Anyone who comes to establish a religion must not themselves commit any sin. That includes Christ, the avatar soul of Abraham, Buddha, Guru Nanak, all these people. They can't commit sin in that birth. But then once they diminish, they get reincarnated, reborn, then they commit sin. The host soul who they enter, they have already committed sin. They're an old soul. For half their time, they are charitable souls, and then for half their time, they become sinful souls. You are charitable souls in the golden and silver ages. Charitable means pure. And you then become sinful souls. When a Sattva-pradhan soul comes from up above, he cannot experience punishment. So this is why he says, when the Christ soul came to establish that religion, he could not have experienced punishment on the cross or even the beatings. Christ was not in the body while Jesus was being tortured and beaten. They say that Christ was crucified on a cross. However, that soul had not performed any sinful actions. And this is why they're confused about what's going on in the Christian religion and why Hollywood spent all that money and influence pressuring people not to produce Mel Gibson's film on the Passion of the Christ. He went and did research, uncovered so many things, and he wanted to publish that in the movie, and Hollywood wouldn't do it, and obviously the church didn't want it. And so they tried to suppress the film, and it became like the biggest blockbuster film of that year. They say that Christ was crucified on a cross. However, the soul had not performed any sinful actions to be crucified. It is the body that the soul enters who experiences the pain and tolerates everything. That is Jesus's body, not Christ's body. It is similar to how Baba enters this one, Brahma Baba. Shiv Baba is Sattva Pradhan, totally pure. Any pain or difficulties experienced by this one, Brahma Baba, not by Shiv Baba. So Baba would explain when Brahma Baba would cough, he was famous for having this chronic cough. Shiv Baba would leave the body and Brahma Baba would have to cough, go into body consciousness, and then Shiv Baba would re-enter when his cough stopped. That one is constantly peaceful and happy, Shiv Baba. He is ever Sattva Pradhan, totally pure. However, he still enters this one's old body. In the same way, the body that the Christ soul entered could experience pain, but the Christ soul could not have experienced pain because the Christ soul still had to go through the stages of Sattva, Raja, and Tamo and had not become impure enough to have to suffer. New souls do come down, so they definitely have to experience happiness at first. They cannot experience sorrow at first. You don't come into Golden Age and experience sorrow. This is why they got it backwards, right? But when you don't remember your history and you become body conscious and you measure everything on the basis of physical technology, you think this is the most elevated time, even though look at all the wars, murder, torture, crime, disrespect, stealing, rape, all that goes on your planet, killing. So new souls do come down, so they definitely have to experience happiness at first, right? Because they come from the soul world relatively pure. It's their first birth. They cannot experience sorrow at first. That isn't the law that you get sorrow first. Baba is sitting in this one of Brahma, and any difficulty is experienced only by this one, Brahma, not by Shiv Baba. So again, he's expanding on soul consciousness, how to recognize the difference between Shiva and Brahma, and therefore ultimately get you to recognize who said what. The Father sits here and explains all of these secrets to you. Establishment takes place through this easy Raj Yoga, and the same things are remembered on the path of devotion. And it's only important so you know who said what, not because Brahma is going to say something that Shiv Baba isn't okay with. He even says that in the Murli. This one is not able to say anything that Shiv Baba doesn't know about. So you don't have to be, oh, what if Brahma's making stuff up? The Father sits and explains all of these secrets to you. Establishment takes place through this easy Raj Yoga, and the same things are then remembered on the path of devotion. Whatever happens at the confluence age has been remembered in the scriptures. Shiv Baba is worshipped when the path of devotion begins in the Copper Age. Who performs devotion first? When Lakshmi Narayan rule the kingdom, they are worthy of worship. They are worshipped in Hinduism. Then when they later go on the path of sin, because Lakshmi Narayan diminish and they become copper-aged, body conscious, they change from being worthy of worship into
Worshippers.
worshippers. So Lakshmi Narayan are the first to do worship, right? In Hinduism. The Father explains it should first enter the intellects of you children that the incorporeal Supreme Father, Supreme Soul is teaching you through this one. Implied, although he's never said this directly, is that whatever body Lakshmi Narayan and Ram and Sita are in Silver Age, when they come in, when Copper Age happens and Silver Age is destroyed, the majority are destroyed or killed through that shifting of the earth, etc. But those souls have to start doing devotion first. So they must survive it, right? There cannot be any other place like this throughout the whole world where they would explain all of this in this way. Only the Father comes and once again gives Bharat the inheritance of heaven. At the bottom of the picture of the Trimurti, that was your last lesson, it is written, the deity world sovereignty. It is your godfatherly birthright. Shiv Baba comes and gives you children your inheritance of the sovereignty of heaven by making you worthy. You know that Baba is making you worthy. You were impure. When you become pure, those bodies will not remain. You are made impure by, again, a projection, Ravan, Satan, but there is no Ravan and there is no Satan. It means you've been made impure by your body conscious ego. Then the Supreme Father, Supreme Soul purifies us and makes us into the masters of the pure world. He is the ocean of knowledge and the purifier. That incorporeal Baba is teaching us. Not everyone can study together. Only a few of you are sitting here in person, and all the rest of the children understand that Shiv Baba would now be sitting in the body of Brahma and giving this knowledge at the beginning, middle, and end of the world. They will receive that Murli later on in writing. So when there wasn't internet or there wasn't even faxes, it was sent by post. We had to wait like 3 weeks to get the Murli. It is not like this in other spiritual gatherings. Recently, the tape recorder has been invented, and so then Baba began sending cassette tapes throughout India and a few people maybe in foreign lands, but not many. Oh, yeah, sorry, reels, the cassette wasn't invented yet. Those people would say that such and such, well, they actually said the word cassette. Yeah, in English, but it was reel to reel. In the 60s, yeah, they hadn't invented the cassette tape yet. Those people would say that such and such a guru is relating this. They only have a human being in their intellects. That does not apply here. And we don't remember human beings here. We're trying to get everyone to stop remembering human beings. Here, the incorporeal Father is the knowledgeful one. Human beings cannot be called knowledgeful. It is said that God the Father is knowledgeful, peaceful, and blissful. So there has to be the inheritance from him, capital H. His children have to receive his virtues. So you can't get your inheritance from other BKs. Even senior BKs, even teachers are not pure enough to give you your inheritance. Only God can give that to you. You are now receiving them. So whatever effort you're making, you're doing this for God to receive your inheritance from God. We are imbibing virtues and becoming like Lakshmi Narayan. That's why you want to keep your record as spotless as you can, because you're on the clock. From the minute you recognize Baba and from the minute you start hearing Murli, very big karmas are now being created. So you need to understand karma very deeply to shape the actions and choices that you make. We are imbibing virtues and becoming like Lakshmi and Narayan. Not everyone will become a king or a queen. It is remember that there are kings, queens, as well as, well, they are subjects too, but in body conscious world, there are kings, queens, and advisors. There are no advisors there. Why? Because Lakshmi and Narayan are perfect. They don't need advisors. Because the emperor and empress have power. It is when they become vicious that they need advisors because their intellects become weak and unclear, confused, influenced by vices, attachment. Previously, there weren't any ministers, etc., in a government. That was a kingdom of just one king and one queen. Why would they then need advisors? Since they themselves were the masters, they didn't need to take advice from anyone. You cannot behave like that now. You have to listen to advice and then sort through and see what's good advice and what isn't as a leader nowadays. But in Gold and Silver Age, Lakshmi Narayan give the direction, everybody else says, Hanji, and what would you like me to do? Right? And the problem is we're trying to teach Brahmins to do that, but they still have all kinds of desires and manmat and stubbornness and attachment. So it's tricky. So this is history and geography. However, it has to enter your intellects that whilst you are around and doing everything, that the Father is educating you and teaching you yoga. Baba is speaking this, Murli, teaching you have to come and understand that. And then your behavior will adjust according to that truth. Stay on the pilgrimage of remembrance. This play is now coming to an end. Because we indulge in vice, we have become completely impure. And this is why it is said, the term is said, about people who are completely impure. They are
sinful souls.
Sinful souls, papatma. There aren't any sinful souls in the Golden Age. There are only charitable souls there. That is the reward for which you are now making effort. Yours is the pilgrimage of remembrance. That is called the yoga of Bharat. But they don't understand that yoga means remembrance, through which sins are absolved. You then shed your bodies and return home. That is called the sweet home. The soul says, I'm a resident of the land of peace. We came from there, bodiless, and we took bodies here in order to play our parts. It's also been explained that the 5 vices are called
Maya.
Aya, and they are also known as the 5 evil spirits. There are evil spirits of lust and anger, And the number one evil spirit is
Body consciousness.
body consciousness. The Father explains these vices don't exist in the Golden Age. That is called the viceless world. It is the Father's task alone to make this vicious world viceless. He alone is called the Almighty Authority. Only God is called that. Humans can't be called that. The ocean of knowledge as well as the purifier. At this time, everyone is born through corruption. We are born through lust. Lust is corruption. So this is why children have to suffer at this time. And adults. Only in the Golden Age is the world completely viceless. The Father says you now have to change from vicious to viceless. They ask, how can children be born without this poison of lust? The Father explains, this is now your last birth. The land of death is now to end. And after that, there will be no vicious people, no body conscious, vicious people, vices left in the Golden Age. This is why you have to promise the Father you will remain pure. They say, Baba, I will definitely claim my inheritance from you. People take a false oath. They don't even know God in whose name they take the oath. They don't know when or how he comes. They don't know anything about his name, form, land, or time period. So they say, I believe in God, but they don't know anything about him. No details. The Father comes and gives his own introduction. You are now receiving his introduction. No one in the world knows God the Father. They call out to him and they also worship him, but they don't know his occupation. You now know that the Supreme Father, Supreme Soul, is your
Father, teacher, and
Father, teacher,
Satguru.
and Satguru. This Father himself has given you his introduction. He says, I am your Father. It's like Star Wars again. I have entered this one's body. Establishment takes place through Pranchapita Brahma. Establishment of whom? Brahmins. You Brahmins then become deities by, how did you become deity?
By following Srimad.
It's just all called part of studying.
Yeah.
I come and change you from Shudras, impure, totally impure, into Brahmins. And the Shudras are the lowest of the caste system. So there's no physical caste system supposed to be dividing humans now, because from God's point of view, everyone is a Shudra, everyone is totally impure, right? So the caste system refers to gold and silver, copper, and iron age, not present day Iron Age divided into 4 separate groups. The Father says, I come at the confluence age of the cycle. This cycle is 5,000 years long. This world cycle continues to turn. I come to make this old world new and establish the original eternal deity religion. Then I destroy all the old religions. I teach you children and change you from human beings into deities for how many births, Olga?
21.
Oh my God. You're paying attention.
Yeah.
Deities means those of the Sun Dynasty and the Moon Dynasty, and also their subjects. However, you only claim an elevated status according to how much effort you make now. Whatever effort you make now, that will continue for every cycle. You understand that you make that effort every cycle, and that is the status you will attain. It is in the intellects of you children that the incorporeal one is teaching you. Only by remembering him will your sins be absolved. Your sins cannot be absolved without remembering him. Human beings don't even know how many births they take. Someone has written a tall story in the scriptures about how many births?
8.4.
8.4 million births. They added too many zeros. You now understand that there are only 84 births. This is your last birth, and you will then go to heaven. You will first go to the incorporeal world, and then you will go to heaven. Acha, to you sweetest beloved, long lost and now found children, love, remembrance, and good morning from the Mother, the Father, Bap, Dada, Shiva, and Brahma combined. The spiritual father says namaste to you spiritual children, and
The spiritual children say namaste to the spiritual father.
Essence for dharana, for inculcation too. In French, they translate that as mise en pratique. They put it into practice. Remain firm in the promise you have made to the Father to remain pure. Remain firm in the promise you have made to the Father to remain pure. You must definitely gain victory over,
Vices.
he called them,
Evil spirits. Evil spirits.
and he specifically referred to
Lust and anger.
lust and anger. You must. There's no debate in this. You have to conquer that. Number 2, whilst walking around and doing everything, remember the Father who is teaching you. Okay, so that's why I was mentioning you're on the clock from the moment you take birth. A really elevated soul like the daddies, I mean, instantaneous surrender practice right away from the very moment. And then you guys all number wise take different amounts of time to practice. But because it's taking you longer to practice these things, you incur a lot of karma. This is why I'm warning you, do not underestimate what Baba is saying. I've seen it for 46 years, what happens to people. Whilst walking, moving around, doing everything, remember the Father who is teaching you, who is in front of you reading the Murli. It's Baba, it's not Brian. This play is now coming to an end. Therefore, you definitely do have to become pure in this last birth. Blessing, may you become full of all treasures and serve with your face. Serve with your face, the features of your face, as a true server. The children who are constantly, so if you're truly serving, should your face look sad, scared, worried, stressed, frustrated, upset, angry, disturbed? The children who are constantly full of all treasures have godly intoxication. Serve with your face as a true server. The children who are constantly full of all treasures have godly intoxication visible in their eyes and on their foreheads. Why? Because there is no fear or doubt left inside their consciousness. So they enter every situation, whether it's an obstacle or not, in the full faith they're going to be victorious. So then that means the only thing that makes you not experience that is your fear and your doubt due to attachment. When someone belongs to an elevated clan, that sparkle intoxication is visible on his or her face. In the same way, let your face reveal your every thought, every action, and you will then be called a true. Let your face reveal your every thought and then you'll be called a true server. Slogan: save your treasures of time and thoughts and increase your account of
Charity.
What's he always referring to the account? What do you have to be aware of? What your account?
Proper muscles.
Huh? So therefore you're aware of the profit, the accumulation, for which you have to be aware of the loss. It's a very deep and subtle thing, karma. And your fortune is being earned at every second based on consciousness, attitude, drishti, actions, and manifestation. That's the specialty of the confluence age. And it's paying off at 1,000 to 1, or sometimes he says 100,000 to 1, depending on your part, depending on the karma. Avyat signal: imbibe sweetness and humility to become great. When you give someone a sweet, his or her mouth is sweetened for a short time, temporary sweetness. When you yourself become sweet, you will always have sweet words on your lips. Just as you become happy, when you eat or give someone something sweet, in the same way, sweet words make you and others feel happy. But of course, if you only know temporary happiness and you share sweet words, then best you can only give people the experience of temporary happiness, which is really what's going on. Continue to sweeten everyone's mouth in this way. Always let your drishti, words, and actions be sweet. Everything you tweet should be sweet. Do we have a Twitter account? Oh, okay. So, all right. Om Shanti. Baba's Murli today.